best kept secret, I would say, just getting along with everybody, getting along with your family. Communication's big. Just helps everything flow better. And when things are easy going, it's a lot less stressful.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Croke. I'm the Illinois Corn Director of Communications and Marketing, and today I'm here with Brady Gray of Gray Family Farms. We are live from the field in central Illinois where Brady is planting. Brady, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. Really excited to bring this new first time ever episode live from the field. So we're just going to jump right in. Would you tell us a little bit about you and your farm?
Yeah. So I farm with my dad, Shane Gray, and my grandfather, Robert Johnson. I've been farming for probably the better part of 15 years with them, and we farm about 1,600 acres here in central Illinois. Corn, soybeans. That's pretty much it. I mean, pretty simple corn soybean operation.
So is farming something you always wanted to do, or did you leave the farm for a while?
I never really left the farm. I did go to school. I went to college back in 2014. Back then, we didn't have very many, maybe only 400 or 500 acres. Wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I knew we would always have the farm around here. Most of the land my grandfather owns, so pretty fortunate for that. And then just, yeah, over the last 10, 12 years, the farming operations kind of blown up, and I love farming. I love doing it every day. And I enjoy every minute sitting out here in the tractor.
Yeah. What's something, I mean, a lot of our listeners are working with family members, and maybe some aren't, but what's something unique that you think you bring to the farm that maybe didn't exist before in your family partnership?
It's a pretty in-depth question. You know, uh, I'm not sure. I think, uh, oh boy. I mean, one thing we do have, me and my dad, we also run a trucking business. We run about 7 trucks full time. So, um, doesn't help much during the spring, but during harvest time, we offer that service to a lot of farmers around the area. Trucks are busy, and just kind of that. So we have, I guess, two separate businesses, but come harvest time, they kind of commingle together and kind of work like that.
What do you find personally most rewarding about a career in agriculture on the farm?
I just I just love farming. Just to keep it as simple as it can. I love playing with dirt. I love taking care of the land, making sure the farms and roadsides look nice. Obviously, high yields and good crops is a big reward of it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just enjoy every aspect of farming, and it doesn't hurt. When my grandpa tells me that good job or things look nice. So that's always a big plus too.
Do you have a favorite season? Do you enjoy planting or harvest, or maybe you really like the winter when things are quiet?
Yeah, well, I do love winter. We like to golf, so we like to get away to Florida and golf. But no, hands down, it's fall time, for sure. I love harvest, the cool weather, the changing of the leaves, the corn and soybeans turning yellow and brown, and they're just nothing beats it.
Do you have a favorite farm memory, like something from your childhood that comes to mind?
Nothing really too specific comes to mind, but I mean, just kind of growing up around the farm. I wasn't heavily involved at a young age. My grandpa and some of my grandpa's nephews and stuff kind of did most of the farming, but just get the opportunity to ride in a tractor with them when I was young. A round or two here and there when I was, out of school or out here when grandma was babysitting after school. Just those kind of things.
You said you like harvest time the best. Are you guys a family field meal out in the field at harvest time kind of family?
Um, Sometimes, I wish we were a little more. A lot of times we're just like, hey, it's go time. It's time to pack your lunch. And but yeah, I would say half of the week we'll get some lunches and stuff brought out to us. Other half we're kind of on our own.
You're farming right now, but if you were in my place, you were the host of this show, who would be the guest? Who's your dream guest? Who do you wish you could interview on Illinois Corn TV?
Um, hmm.
That's another hard question, huh?
That is a hard question. You know, the guys that come to mind are just some of the big, some of the real big farmers in my area around here. You know, like our operation's pretty manageable with you know, me and my dad, a hired hand. But just the large scale operations, I'm still fascinated by that. Just how many moving parts there is, how, you know, all the seed gets to the right field and we're not planting wrong places or harvesting wrong fields. A lot of that just blows my mind. I'd like to pick a guy's brain one day about how you keep all that straight between so many acres and so many employees and all that.
Maybe that's it. Maybe there's a lot of farmers in our audience that would like to pick a guy's brain about those logistics. Here's a good question. I'm thinking about my day, and I tend to be a pretty early riser, about 4:30. What are you, a night owl or an early bird?
I'm an early bird. I like to go to bed early and I like to get up early.
Oh, me too. I love to be asleep by like 9 o'clock. I don't always get it, but that sounds amazing.
Yes. Yeah, I like to be in bed by 9:30 at the latest. Maybe a few minutes to play on TikTok when I'm laying in bed and then it's lights out.
Who's your favorite influencer? Do you have a favorite like farm influencer or maybe non-farm influencer?
You know, surprisingly, I'm not real caught up in the whole influencing thing. I don't really follow anybody. I know some of the big names like you know, like the Larson Farms, and I know of them, but I can honestly say I don't think I've ever like sat down and watched any of their videos or anything.
Okay.
You know, met him at the Farm Progress show when I saw him there and said hi, and it's nice to meet him. But I really don't get. I'm really not a big kind of influencer follower guy. If that's the right terminology.
Yeah, got it. Um, do you have any great stories to share with us or a wild, crazy thing? We were just talking about logistics. It made me think, how are you and your dad managing two businesses and what kind of crazy things have happened in the process?
Um, well, crazy things. I don't know if there's any like big crazy things. To be exact, a lot of small things throughout the day where you know, can kind of give you some headaches. But between like right now, while we're in the fields, between the farms and trying to dispatch trucks, things get pretty hectic. I know my dad's very busy with, you know, the crop insurance and then helping on the farm, the trucks, and then, you know, of course, him being in the corn growers and being gone a lot. There can be a lot of stress between the two of us sometimes. And unfortunately, that probably does get passed down to some of the employees and truck drivers sometimes, but it's not too bad. We got a pretty good group of guys out here. Um, Pretty happy to have them. Pretty smooth operation overall. So pretty fortunate with that.
Yeah, I think passing stress along sounds like just a average farm family trait to me. I think you guys are probably doing really well.
Yeah, I think our operation is, you know, fairly low stress compared to some, but
Yeah.
it has its times where you question what you're doing and you know, who you're involved with.
So, last hard question, Brady. Before we take off, do you have any advice for all the farmers out there? I mean, you're a pretty younger than the average age farmer in Illinois, I'm sure. What kind of advice would you give to the young farmers that might be having a hard time right now?
Um, yeah, times are tough right now, especially with crop prices. You know, it definitely hurts. You know, come harvest time when your break even points and the corn prices, soybean prices are way out of whack. But you know, you buckle down, keep your head down, and you know, manage your money well, manage your finances. The big thing that we've been looking at the last few years is our break even point. You know, our bottom dollar, and we've really been focusing on being a low cost producer. and not be, like a big high yielding. Because, I mean, you can grow, a huge 300 bushel corn crop, and in these times you could still lose money on that with the amount of inputs you need to grow that crop. So here, I'd say the last, especially 2 years, going on 3 years this year, with the prices not looking to be any better. Just really focus on being a low cost producer and just making the most you can per acre.
That sounds a lot like what I'm hearing out of U of I, where Dr. Gary Schnittke says, focus on profitability and not on yield.
Yes,
So,
well, and I actually sat in on a couple 3-day seminars where Gary was one of the guest speakers and a couple other U of I guys, and a lot of things he was saying wasn't really new to my ears from what I'd been hearing. But yeah, I mean, it's being a low cost producer is a game changer in this farm economy.
so Brady, do you have a tip or a trick or the best kept secret for operating your particular family farm?
Best kept secret, I would say, just getting along with everybody, getting along with your family. Communication's big. Just helps everything flow better. And when things are easy going, it's a lot less stressful.
I'm going to tell you a joke. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
What do you call it when a farmer installs Wi-Fi in his barn?
I don't know.
It's called a stable connection.
That's a good one. I like that.
All right. All right. You go ahead and use that with your buddies at the coffee shop or, wherever you might find them. Brady, thank you so much for spending time with us today. It's been really fun.
No, thank you for having me.
Yep.